Hi, I'm just going to talk about how we can interact with a child if they're showing some demand resistance. That's a phrase that we sometimes use, and people might like or dislike that particular phrase. I guess the sort of times that we're talking about are when we're trying, maybe in a school setting, to encourage a child to complete a task, and the child's just not going to do it, and they might be saying things like no, or they might say I can't, or they might just ignore us. And that's difficult as an adult, and we think, oh my goodness, I'm meant to have clear expectations. How am I going to interact with this situation? Once the child is bedded into that sort of no, and if you can see actually this is potentially going to become a bit of a battle of wills, it's the likelihood of a child just suddenly deciding to engage at that point is starting to get pretty slim. So if we're starting to see a child really sort of like bed into that no, I'm not going to do it, your best bet is probably just to kind of just like park. We don't need to say, oh, okay, fine, you don't need to do it now, or okay, well, you'll have to do it later. We don't need to engage with the concept that they're not doing it. We don't need to label that. We don't need to say, okay, well, you're not going to be able to go out to play later, or well, that's going to be less iPad time, whatever. We don't need to address head on the fact that they are not engaging, because at that point, if they've got into a can't, no kind of way of interacting, they actually have gone past the point of having capacity to be able to. So it's not a choice at that point. So that's really important for us to be clear, because the child is struggling to regulate their emotions at that point. Sorry. And we need to accept that. Don't need to say, okay, fine, you don't have to do it. Just start talking about something else. Or say, do you know what, I'm just going to go and check such and such. I'll be back and see you in a few minutes. Or just start commenting on what's happening, or just say, oh, do you know, I was thinking about you the other day. I was thinking about how much you like horses. Are you still into that? Just kind of like, your task right then, once they're bedded in, is to help that child regulate their emotions first. Regulate before educate. So we're thinking, okay, this child is now not regulated. I might not be feeling too regulated anymore if it's starting to feel like a battle of wills. I'm going to park that trying to make them do something for a while until they're regulated. So that's step one. So just chatting, trying to get yourself into a sort of comfortable, playful, light-hearted tone, maybe for about 10 minutes. It takes maybe about 5-10 minutes to try and start to, as long as they've not gone past, to a very high level of dysregulation, in which case it's going to be much longer. But if we've just got into that nope kind of state, 5 or 10 minutes, just trying to co-regulate with them. You might need to change environment, because they might be starting to associate being sat right there with not engaging. But then once you think actually the child's kind of regulated, they've started to chat again, you can see the whole demeanor's changed, then we can say, okay, so we're going to do such and such in a minute. We've just got this task to do first of all. Do you want to start on this page, or do you want to start on this page? Okay, so at this point, we're giving what we call a closed choice. We're not saying, okay, so you need to do this, and then you're going to be doing that. Because the automatic response of the child is either to say, they're put in a position of either saying, okay, or no, and they're going to say no, probably. So we're not just going to do that, we're just going to give them a choice. Okay, so what we're going to do is we really need to just get a tiny bit of reading done, tone very nice and light, and then we're going to go straight on to that task over there that's on the computer. Oh, that's such a cool task, I can't wait. Okay, so should we do task A here, or should we do task B? Okay. Sometimes I like to hold up my hands or my fists, because it gives something really physical and tangible, and the child can go, that one. So if the child is regulated at that point, we've got into a comfortable tone, then we're saying, okay, this is going to happen, and then we're going on to that. Which are we doing first, this one or this one? And often, so we're not addressing, don't forget to make a good choice. Don't forget, if you do this, you'll be able to do such and such, because we don't need to have a conversation about whether or not they're engaging. just go straight into it. Yeah, you want to do this one or this one? And usually if the child is regulated, they'll pick. Not always, of course, but it's something to bear in mind. It's something to think about. So the first stage of what we're doing is we're thinking, okay, child's not regulated, I need to help them regulate. So we're spending maybe 10 minutes because that's how long it will take to co-regulate emotions with somebody. Keep it playful, keep it light, be interested, show curiosity in what the child's doing. Oh my goodness, I noticed you've got a little flashing bit on your shoe. That's pretty cool, actually. You know, we just sort of show an interest in them. Happy to engage in little bits of chit chat about the weekend that come up. And then at some point we're saying, okay, but you know, we're going straight into something really tangible, a clear structure. Playtime's in 10 minutes. We've got this to finish first. We want to start on page 1 or page 2. And then usually they'll pick at that point. Okay. So yeah, give that a go. Okay.